Episode 12. What becoming unbreakable really means. When I began this season, I knew I wanted to tell the truth. Not the polished truth, not the easy truth, but the real truth. The truth about what it means to fall apart. The truth about what it means to rebuild. The truth about leadership under pressure. The truth about surviving illness. The truth about losing yourself and finding yourself again. The truth about emotional resilience. And the truth about becoming unbreakable. And now, here we are at the finale of Season 1. But this isn't an ending, it's a reflection, a gathering of everything this season has revealed. Because becoming unbreakable isn't a moment in time, it's a way of living. The myth of strength. When people hear the word unbreakable, they imagine something cold, hard, rigid, and untouched by emotion. That's not strength, that's armour. And armour keeps danger out, but it also keeps connection out. In my journey, I learned that the strongest people aren't the ones who pretend they're fine. They're the ones who admit when they're struggling and still keep going. Becoming unbreakable isn't about being invincible. It's about being whole. It's not about never bending. It's about never snapping. It's not about being untouched by life. It's about being transformed by it. The heart failure that taught me how to live. In February 2018, I caught a cold. A cold that led to breathlessness, misdiagnosis, deterioration, and eventually a cardiology doctor telling me, "You're in heart failure, we're moving you to coronary care." My cardiac output was 10%, 4 litres of fluid in my lungs, my body failing, my breath disappearing, my future collapsing in a single sentence. And yet, that moment didn't break me. It woke me up. Illness taught me a new kind of leadership. Leadership of the self. Leadership of the breath. Leadership of the moment. It forced me to slow down, to listen, to become present, to respect my body rather than work against it. That's where unbreakable begins, when you learn the value of being alive. The day I almost died, and the voice that saved me. In December 2022, a night where everything went wrong inside me. Breathlessness, an ambulance, observation area, then collapse. Blood pressure dropping to 53, vision fading into shadows, unable to move, unable to speak, hearing the world but not able to join it, being willed to resus, guided only by the sound of corridor doors. I knew my heart, and then that voice. The ED matron who stood beside me and never stopped speaking. Her voice anchored me when nothing inside my body was working. Her presence reminded me that I wasn't alone. And in that moment, I made the quietest, strongest decision of my life. Not today. Not like this. I fought back. I came back. I lived. That day didn't end me. It defined me. The work collapse that became a breakthrough. 2024 was the year my body and my job both said enough. A restructure that made no sense. A system that didn't see what I brought. Doing 3 jobs at once. Training new staff. Supporting a team. Trying to stay steady when the ground kept moving. And then the crash. The CCU admission. Another collapse. And the truth surfaced. I was surviving a place that was shrinking me. Becoming unbreakable sometimes means walking away from places that break you slowly. Leaving the NHS wasn't failure. It was rebirth. It was choosing myself, my future, my peace, my health, my potential. The Las Vegas realization and emergence of purpose. In April 2025, I stood in a room in Las Vegas with the Masters of Influence, and for the first time in years, I saw myself clearly again. Not as a patient, not as a manager fighting through systems, not as someone surviving, not as someone holding everything together, but as a leader, a speaker, a mentor, a teacher, a person with decades of NHS, GP and leadership experience that could change lives and systems. A person who wasn't finished, just beginning. In that moment, the mirror was held up to me, and I recognised myself for the first time in a long time. That's becoming unbreakable. When you finally see your future and step toward it without fear. What unbreakable really means. It's not about endurance. It's not about imperfection. It's not about strength without softness. It's this. 1. Unbreakable is having boundaries, knowing what's yours to carry and what isn't. 2. Unbreakable is choosing rest without guilt, because recovery isn't weakness, it's wisdom. 3. Unbreakable is letting go of old identities, even if you wore them for decades. 4. Unbreakable is loving deeply without losing yourself, even when bonds shift or relationships change. 5. Unbreakable is being honest with yourself, especially when the truth is uncomfortable. 6. Unbreakable is choosing courage. In the quiet moments, like the moment in recess, when every breath was a battle. 7. Unbreakable is rising again, even when no one sees the fall. Because resilience doesn't need an audience. A reflective moment. Close your eyes for a moment. Breathe in slowly and ask yourself, where have I bent but not broken? Where have I risen every time life tried to pull me under? Where has my story revealed my strength? Hold those answers gently. That's your unbreakable self. A message for you. Season 1 began with illness, fear, uncertainty, pain, loss of identity. And it ends here with clarity, courage, reconnection and rebirth. But this is only the beginning. This isn't a destination. It's a journey, a practice, a way of living. In the next season, we'll explore what happens after survival, what it means to lead, not just through crisis, but through clarity, to build something aligned, to live intentionally, to carry strength without armour, emotional leadership, purpose-driven leadership, self-mastery, impact, connection, a life aligned with truth. Thank you for walking through this season with me. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being part of this story. And remember, you are already more unbreakable than you know. If you've walked through this season with me, from hospital beds to hard decisions, from collapse to clarity, from survival to reinvention, thank you, truly. This wasn't a season about perfection. It wasn't a season about heroics. It was a season about honesty, about what it really means to bend without breaking, to fall without disappearing, to lose parts of yourself and choose to rebuild anyway. If these conversations helped you to reflect on your own resilience, your own leadership, your own turning points, I'd invite you to follow the podcast so you're here for what comes next. Season 2 won't be about crisis. It will be about integration, about leading with emotional clarity, about building something aligned, about living with strength that doesn't need armour. Until then, take this with you. You don't become unbreakable in a single moment. You become unbreakable every time you choose honesty over avoidance, courage over comfort, presence over fear. And if you're still here, still breathing, still learning, still rising, you're already far stronger than you think. I'll see you in Season 2.